Hey guys, Fig Nukin Records coming back at you again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about a Halloween playlist I made for y'all. Please check it out, and let's start out with this track listing. Alright, to start out we got the Halloween theme, of course. I mean, you can't go wrong with that to open the playlist out. John Carpenter does a great job with his piano on that, and really sets up a creepy mood. Next up, how about Wolf by Iced Earth, great metal horror track off the album Horror Show, so you can't go wrong with that. Next up, with maybe a little more John Schaefer's guitaring, how about In Jason's Mind by John Schaefer's Purgatory? That album overall, great Halloween album. I believe I talked about it last year, as well as Horror Show. And that In Jason's Mind is a great thing about, of course, Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, with some awesome however you want to say it's done. That little thing is kind of like the intro. It's a really awesome track. Next up, how about Hallowed Be Thy Name? Of course, a great track. Really creepy. All about a man waiting to be hung. It's a pretty dark track. Figured to fit in with the Halloween theme. Next up, Jacqueline Hyde, of course. A classic, horror theme. By the band Serpent Power, classic hard rock, psychedelic rock band that does some pretty creepy stuff. So I think you really should check them out if you haven't before. Next up, Misfits, of course, horror punk legends. The song "Die Monster Die" off of Famous Monsters. Next up, Saffron's Curse by Cradle of Filth off of Midian. Of course, a overall horror album as well. Another great one. Next up, In League with Satan by Venom. Of course, it's got some horror themes on it already. Satan. Of course, the line, what was it? I'm in league with Satan. I was raised in hell. It's pretty dark. Next up, how about changing up the vibe a little bit from metal and rock overall? How about Oingo Boingos Denman Party? That song is a classic, awesome, upbeat, very, Halloween song about, of course, dead people. So, it fits in. It's definitely a Halloween-y type song. And, of course, Danny Elfman being Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas definitely helps. Next up, how about Nosferatu by Blue Oyster Cult? A, great song by, of course, the Legends Blue Oyster Cult, who always had dark lyrics, always had kind of a dark tone overall. I figured it'd be better than Don't Fear the Reaper because that's what everybody puts in their Halloween playlist. Next up, how about prog legend Cosmograph with the song The Fear Created? Of course, the whole album about ghosts and spirits and everything like that. It's a really good album. I highly recommend checking out on the album Capacitor, of course. Next up, The Keller Out of Space by Serpent Power again. Of course, a H.P. Lovecraft great story. Next up, Halloween. Of course, you can't forget about them. How about the song Halloween, of course. Great 10-minute epic prog power metal epic by one of the greats. Next up, how about the song that I think spawned doom by something that is just, it shows impending doom, the whole song. We're talking about Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on Black Sabbath. It's an awesome track. Cannot go wrong with it. Next up, how about from the murder metal legends himself, Macabre, Hitchhiker off the album Dahmer. Song's awesome. Album's awesome. It's a little bit eclectic, I could say, for metal, but it's awesome nonetheless. Next up, coming back to Blue Oyster Cult, how about Monsters? Of course, Monsters, Halloween. Can't go wrong with that. Great song, catchy as fuck. Next up, how about from progressive metal legend Devin Townsend, from the Devin Townsend band, Cygnus, or I don't know how to say the name honestly. But on the album, or not on the album, the song Vampira, or Vampira, I don't know. I think it's Vampire. That's how he says it in the song. But great song, thrashy, It's an awesome song. How about from Cthulhu band themselves, back to Relay, or how you say it. I don't know how you say that word, honestly. Basil Abscond, a great song, opening their album, their first debut album up. Great song from, I believe they're from Madrid. They're pretty small, but they're progressive avant-garde metal. Really awesome band. I really hope you guys check them out. Next up, If You Have Ghosts by Ghost. Great cover. Honestly, better than the original song, and a really fitting track, I think, for this. Next up, how about Misfits when they had Danzig, of course. Night of the Living Dead. I couldn't not have a Danzig track in here. Great song, one of their early tracks. I believe it was released in 1979, which is crazy. But next up, how about more from the Murder Metal Kings, Macabre, Your Window is Open, from their latest album. Great song, very catchy. Then we got to go to Merciful Fate. Come on, horror masters. How about Cthulhu, the Mad Era Part 2? A great, very I don't know what you would call it, Egyptian, or what is it called? Sorry, Oriental metal kind of sound there. Dope ass song. And then of course, Iron Maiden, Murders in the Rue Morgue. You're pulling from Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, it's great. And it's Iron Maiden, so you can never go wrong with it. The early Paul Di'Anno stuff, of course. Next up, how about Black Dahlia Murder? Already kind of a creepy name, you know what I mean? And how about The Wereworm's Feast? I figured that sounded pretty fucking Halloween-y. I can't go wrong with that. Next up, King Diamond, back at it again. The Trial, from the album The Eye, all about the Salem witch trials. So I figured that would fit in perfectly with this, of course. How about Alice in Hell, from from Annihilator. A lot of A's there. A lot of A's and H's, I guess. But yeah, great song from a great epic album. Probably their best, in my opinion. Next up, For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica. Of course, you can't go wrong with that. On their album Ride the Lightning. Next up, Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden. Of course, had to throw that in there. It's kind of like a Halloween classic metal-wise. Next up, Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne. A great track back when he was doing more of the horror-themed albums, I'd say. With Bark at the Moon and Diary of a Madman. Next up, how about Nightmare on Elm Street by Misfits? Another Misfits track on here. Of course, it's horror themed, so I'm like, horror punk, you gotta throw it on there. Then how about Rob Zombie's Dragula off of blanking on the name of that album. I guess I can check it right here, right now. Hellbilly Deluxe. Jeez, I don't know why I can remember that. But yeah, of course, that's a classic song. And then how about Halloween from King Diamond too? You know, why not? And then, of course, got to throw in This Is Halloween by, or on the Halloween, Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know why I said Halloween. On the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack. Great song. Catchy as fuck. Of course, it's a classic. Halloween classic. And then next up, how about In the Presence of Another World by Blue Oyster Cult? A nice, creepy track. And then to finish it off, how about All's Hallows Eve by Typo Negative? I mean, this is a great playlist. I'm going to post down the comments below. Sorry, I kind of shook up the camera there. So check it out. Let me know how it is, and peace out. Have a good Halloween.